Every year, manufacturers launch dozens of new models. Most are discrete updates, color changes, or minor improvements. But every once in a while, motorcycles appear that shake the very foundations of the industry. Machines that arrive with such a brutal quality-to-price ratio, such advanced technology, or such a groundbreaking proposal that the rest of the brands are forced to react. These are the 9 motorcycles of 2026 that are going to give the competition sleepless nights. Number 1 doesn't just scare, it is outright terrifying. Let's begin. Number 9, CF Moto 450 CLC Bobber. If 10 years ago someone had told you that a Chinese brand would make the European and Japanese giants nervous, you would have called them crazy. Welcome to 2026, where that prediction has become the most terrifying reality for marketing departments across half the world. The CF Moto 450 CLC is not just a motorcycle, it is a missile aimed directly at the heart of the entry-level custom segment. It is a bobber with classic lines but a modern approach, and it is built with a level of finishing that shames brands costing twice as much. Its engine is a 449 cubic centimeter parallel twin, the same one found in the successful 450 SS, a mechanic that is proven to be reliable, smooth, and possessed of a character that hooks you from the first meter. It delivers around 40 horsepower, a figure more than sufficient to move fluidly through urban traffic and maintain pace on the open road without feeling strained. But what truly makes the competition tear their hair out is not the mechanics. It is the complete package that CF Moto has been able to offer for a price that looks like a mistake. We are talking about an inverted fork, something uncommon in this segment. We are talking about alloy wheels with an exclusive design that would not look out of place on a much more expensive bike. We are talking about a single-seat bobber saddle, plush and with quality upholstery. We are talking about a dual chrome exhaust that frames the rear wheel with an elegance reminiscent of American customs from the 40s. And we are talking about paint with a depth and shine that looks liquid, with matte black finishes and chrome details that give it that trendy modern retro vibe. The tank with elongated teardrop shapes is a sculpture in itself. The indicators are LED, the instrumentation is a small circular screen that combines analog with digital, and the riding position is exactly what you look for in a bobber. Forward set feet, upright back, and relaxed arms. And then there is the price. That is the real problem for the competition. CF Moto has understood something fundamental. To gain market share in Europe and America, it is not enough to make decent bikes. You have to offer more for less until the scales tip. And the 450 CLC arrives with a tag that will make more than one traditional manufacturer tremble. Honda and Kawasaki are glancing sideways at their small customs and starting to crunch the numbers. Triumph, which has its flagships in the Speedmaster and the Bobber, is taking note with concern. And dealerships across half the world are starting to receive calls asking when that beautiful Chinese bike arrives. The 450 CLC is not the most powerful bike on the market, nor the fastest, nor the most technological, but it is the ultimate warning that China has left behind the era of cheap toys and soulless copies to start building motorcycles with their own identity, real quality, and prices that hurt. And that, in 2026, is what scares those who have spent decades dominating the market without looking back. Number 8, Triumph Speed Twin 900 Update. Triumph has been dominating the modern retro segment for years with staggering proficiency. Like a teacher who has been giving the same class for so long they already know the questions before they are even asked. The Speed Twin 900, known until now as the Street Twin, has long been the gateway to the British universe for thousands of riders who dreamed of a Triumph but couldn't afford a high-displacement Bonneville. In 2026, an update arrives that is so deep it makes the competition, those trying to scratch away its market share, very nervous. The engine remains the 900 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled parallel twin, a block that is already a benchmark for its reliability and character. 65 horsepower that won't snap your neck but delivers generous torque from 1,500 revolutions, exactly what you need to move through the city without shifting gears at every stoplight. However, Triumph has refined the electronics so that the response is even smoother, more linear, and more British. They have worked on the injection and ignition mapping to eliminate any harshness or hesitation in power delivery. The real news, though, is in the chassis and the details that make the difference. The front fork has been improved with more travel and a more precise setting, resulting in a more comfortable ride on broken roads and urban potholes. The rear shocks are now preload adjustable, allowing the bike to be adapted to the load and riding style. Brake discs have grown in diameter and the calipers have a stronger bite because Triumph knows that safety is not an area where you can cut corners. The handlebars are slightly wider, the posture more natural, and the seat has been completely redesigned with higher density foam that withstands long trips without the body protesting. But what truly worries the competition is not a specific figure, it is the absolute balance Triumph has achieved with this bike. The Speed Twin 900 is not the fastest in its category, not the cheapest, not the most technological, nor the one with the most standard equipment. It is the one that does everything well. It is the well-rounded bike, the one without weak points, the one you can recommend to anyone with your eyes closed. Number 7. KTM 390 Adventure New Generation. KTM revolutionized the entry-level adventure segment when it launched the first 390 Adventure. It was the first to prove that you didn't need to spend 20,000 euros to have a bike with true off-road capability, quality suspension, and decent electronics. In 2026, the folks from Mattighofen have decided to give it such a brutal twist that other manufacturers are still wondering how they will respond. The new generation of the 390 Adventure arrives with an even more radical, more off-road, more serious, and more orange focus. The engine remains the 399 cubic centimeter single cylinder, that classic LC4C they have perfected generation after generation. 44 horsepower with a spicy character and that uniquely KTM power delivery, almost like a modern two-stroke, which forces you to keep the revs high to get the most out of it. But the true revolution is not in the engine, it is in the chassis and the suspension. For the first time in this segment, KTM mounts a 43mm WP Apex front fork that is fully adjustable in compression and rebound. This is something unseen in this displacement, something that until now was reserved for bikes costing 10,000 euros and up. The rear shock is also WP Apex with a reservoir separator just like on real bikes, just like on racing machines. Suspension travel has increased by several centimeters, as has the ground clearance, and the swing arm is completely new, designed to improve stability on broken terrain and at high speeds. The electronics are updated with a 6-axis inertial measurement unit, IMU, the same one used by the large KTMs, which allows for cornering traction control and cornering ABS. Yes, you heard right, a 390 with cornering ABS and traction control. Number 6. Ducati Monster 30 Anniversary. 30 years. 3 full decades since Miguel Angel Galuzzi sat in front of a piece of paper and drew what would become the bike that saved Ducati from bankruptcy. The original monster, the M900 from 1993, was not just a sales success, it was a paradigm shift. It proved that a bike could be simple, naked, without fairings, and still have the heart and soul of a sport bike. 30 years later, Ducati wants to celebrate as it deserves, launching a special edition that pays tribute to that first monster, but with the technology and mechanics of 2026. The base is the current monster we all know, with its 937 cubic centimeter V2 engine. It is the Testastretta, the same one mounted on the Hypermotard, a twin cylinder that delivers 111 horsepower with a beastly push from the bottom and a sound that only a Ducati can provide. It is an engine with character and personality, vibrating just enough to remind you that you are riding an Italian machine without being annoying. But what makes this limited edition special are the commemorative details and the care Ducati has put into every element so that collectors and brand enthusiasts will fight over it. The colors are yellow and black, the same scheme as the first monster of 1993, with the frame in bright yellow and the tank in matte black with side stripes that replicate the original. The wheels have a specific 5 double-spoke design, reminiscent of those from the 90s but with a modern finish. The seat is a single-seater with special stitching and the number 30 engraved on the tail. The front fender carries a commemorative plaque and the tank features a golden 30th anniversary emblem. Number 5. BMW R1300 GS Adventure. When BMW launched the R1300 GS, the replacement for the mythical 1250, everyone thought they could no longer improve the formula. The GS is, in its own right, the best-selling bike in Europe, the absolute benchmark of the adventure segment, the one everyone wants to copy and none manage to equal. But in Munich, they never sleep. And in 2026, the version all extreme travelers were waiting for arrives, the R1300 GS Adventure. The mechanical base is the same as the normal GS, that engineering marvel which is the 1,300 cubic centimeter boxer engine, liquid and air-cooled. 145 horsepower with a torque curve that looks like a straight line, infinite from idle to the red line. It is an engine that pushes and pulls, feeling like the power will never end, but the adventure adds everything that true travelers, those who cross deserts, mountains, and continents, need so they don't have to stop every 2 hours. The fuel tank grows to 33 liters, which translates into a range of more than 500 kilometers without needing to see a pump. The ESA electronic suspensions are latest generation with automatic load adjustment, so the bike always runs smooth and balanced regardless of the luggage or the passenger you carry behind. The protections are comprehensive with standard sidebars, crankcase protection, and additional auxiliary lights that turn night into day. The riding modes are expanded with specific off-road options featuring engine maps, traction control, and ABS designed to work on dirt, gravel, mud, and sand. The TFT screen is giant with integrated navigation through the BMW app and full connectivity for your mobile and intercom. The Adventure weighs more than the normal GS, which is inevitable with a larger tank and more protection. Number 4. Aprilia Tuono 457. Aprilia has spent years proving that in Noal, they know how to make sport bikes with an Italian soul. But with the Tuono 457, they have made a statement that will resonate throughout the entire entry-level naked segment. Why? Because they have taken the spirit of the Tuono 660, put it into a smaller, lighter bike, and given it a price that is going to cause a lot of pain for the competition. Its 457 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine is a masterpiece of engineering. Liquid-cooled with double overhead cams and 4 valves per cylinder, it delivers around 47 horsepower. A modest figure, yes, but with a top-end rush that reminiscent of the 2 strokes of old. The chassis is a steel twin spar with geometry inherited directly from the RS 457, meaning it behaves like a true sport bike in the corners. The suspensions are adjustable, the brakes are by Vibri, and the electronics include a ride-by-wire throttle and 2 riding modes. But the best part of the Tuono 457 is its balance. It is a bike for learning, for starting out, for taking those first steps in the world of 2 wheels without fear. But it is also a bike for having fun, for finding the limit on a twisty road and coming home with a grin from ear to ear. Aprilia has understood that the small, naked market was in need of something with character, something that wasn't just a simple commuter bike. The Tuono 457 is exactly that. It is the gateway to the Aprilia world, with all the passion and sportiness that entails. And when those who start with it want more, they already know where to look. What truly separates the Tuono 457 from boring beginner bikes is its relationship with the air. The upper semi-fairing is designed to deflect turbulence away from the rider's shoulders, allowing for much more comfortable highway cruising than its size suggests. The 270-degree crank gives it a character and sound that emulates a small V2, eliminating annoying vibrations and providing excellent traction coming out of slow corners. Aprilia has also integrated full smartphone connectivity, allowing for turn-by-turn navigation directly on the screen. Something unusual in this category, it is a declaration of war against Japanese brands, proving that an A2 license holder does not have to sacrifice Italian style or cutting-edge technology just because of displacement. Number 3. Yamaha R9. We had been waiting for it for years of hearing rumors, seeing spy prototypes, and dreaming that Yamaha would finally decide to put the MT-09 engine into a proper fairing. In 2026, it has finally arrived. The Yamaha R9 is the sport bike the brand's fans were screaming for. Its 899 cubic centimeter 3-cylinder engine is the same one mounted in the MT-09 but with a specific track-focused tune. 120 horsepower with a torque curve that feels infinite, and that characteristic 3-cylinder roar that makes your hair stand on end. But the important thing about the R9 is not just the engine, it is the complete package. The chassis is a new aluminum twin spar design with stiffness optimized to provide maximum precision in fast corners. The suspensions are fully adjustable, signed by KYB, and the brakes feature Brembo radial masters at the front with radial mount calipers. The electronics are top tier, a 6-axis inertial measurement unit, IMU, adjustable traction control, wheelie control, brake control, and a 5-inch TFT screen with all the data you could need. The fairing is not just beautiful, it is functional with aerodynamics developed in the wind tunnel to protect the rider and reduce drag. The R9 arrives to compete with the Triumph Daytona 765, the MV Agusta F3, and all the middleweight sport bikes that thought they had the market under control. And it does so with Yamaha's reliability, a massive dealer network, and a price that is going to cause a lot of pain. Because Yamaha did not come to play, they came to win. The true ace up the R9's sleeve is its balance between agility and stability. Thanks to its cross-plane technology crankshaft, the power delivery is so linear that it allows you to open the throttle with total confidence at the exit of the tightest corners without the abrupt jerks of a traditional 4-cylinder. Yamaha has installed a 3rd-generation quick-shift system that allows for clutchless upshifts and downshifts even with the throttle open, a technical delight that reduces lap times on the track. The riding position has been refined to not be as extreme as that of an R6, allowing users to enjoy long road routes without ending up with a wrecked back. It is a bike that scares the competition because it democratizes racing performance, offering technology that just 5 years ago was only within reach of official MotoGP riders. Number 2. Ducati Panigale V2 Super Quattro Final Edition. This is one of those motorcycles that marks a before and after, not for what it is, but for what it represents. The Ducati Panigale V2 Super Quattro Final Edition is the farewell to the Super Quattro twin-cylinder engine, the one that has brought so much joy to the brand, won races, and made thousands of riders around the world fall in love. Ducati has decided to retire it, and they are doing so in style. It remains the same 955 cubic centimeter engine with those 155 horses that push like a jackhammer when you climb the revs. It is still that untamable beast that you must know how to handle, rewarding those who understand it and punishing those who do not respect it. But this final edition is special. It wears the racing colors of the Panigale with the frame in red and the fairing in white and red with the Italian flag. The wheels are made of light alloy. The seat has special stitching, and the tank carries a plaque with the limited unit number. Only a few hundred will be manufactured, and all of them will be sold before even reaching the dealerships. The Panigale V2 is not the fastest bike, nor the most technological, nor the easiest to ride. It is the last of a lineage, the swan song of an engine that has made history. And that is why it scares the competition, because when a brand is capable of moving its followers like this, when it is capable of creating such a sentimental bond with a machine, it proves it has something the others do not, soul. And soul cannot be bought with engineering. What makes this final edition an absolute object of desire is the integration of components from the Panigale V4S, such as the Olin Smart EC 2.0 electronic suspension, which adjusts compression and rebound in milliseconds according to the state of the asphalt. The titanium exhaust signed by Akrapovic not only reduces total weight by 3 kilograms, but also releases the purest and most visceral roar of the twin-cylinder engine at high revolutions, a melody that will soon be a thing of the past. The aerodynamics have been improved with carbon fiber winglets derived from racing, which generate a downforce of 7 kilograms at 270 kilometers per hour, keeping the front wheel glued to the ground. It is a collector's piece that will not only appreciate in value over the years, but also reminds Japanese manufacturers that Italian passion, when combined with modern technical precision, is an unbeatable force on the asphalt. Number 1. KTM 1390 Super Duke R Evo. And we have reached number 1, the Beast, the one that has no mercy. The KTM 1390 Super Duke R Evo is the most extreme naked bike you can buy with money, and in 2026 it has decided it could be even more of a beast. Its 1,390 cubic centimeter V-twin engine is absolute madness. 190 horsepower with torque that dislocates your cervical vertebrae every time you open the throttle, But it is not just the power, it is how it is delivered. The Super Duke has a low-end push that seems impossible for a twin-cylinder. It accelerates like a rocket, pushes like a train, and roars like a wounded animal. The chassis is a steel trellis with an aluminum single-sided swing arm, a combination that provides incredible rigidity and a contained weight. The suspensions are latest generation semi-active WP, which adjust in milliseconds to the asphalt conditions and riding style. The electronics are from another planet. A 6-axis inertial measurement unit, IMU, traction control with slide mode, adjustable wheelie control, launch control, up and down quick shifter, and a 5-inch TFT screen with full connectivity. All of this comes with a design that looks like something out of a science fiction movie, with that front headlight that resembles an angry robot and that minimalist tail that displays the rear wheel like a trophy. The 1390 Super Duke R Evo is not a bike for everyone. It is a bike for those who know what they want, for those who do not settle for less, for those who understand that the road is a battlefield and they want to go in with the best weaponry available. The competition can try to copy it, they can try to get close, but there will always be an insurmountable distance. Because KTM has spent years perfecting this formula, and in 2026, they have reached the summit. The Super Duke is the queen of the nakeds, the one all others look at with respect, with envy, and with fear. Because when it appears in the rearview mirror, there are only two options: pull over or try to follow it, and almost always the first is the wisest. 9 motorcycles that have arrived to revolutionize the market in 2026. From the Chinese elegance of the CF Moto 450 CLC to the absolute brutality of the KTM 1390 Super Duke R Evo, passing through the return of the Yamaha R9 and the farewell of the Ducati V2, the competition has reasons to be nervous, and we, the riders, have reasons to celebrate. Because when brands fight for our pockets, the only ones who win are us. Tell us, which of these 9 seems most threatening to you? The orange naked, the blue sport bike, or the Italian twin? Would you dare with the KTM Beast, or do you prefer the surgical precision of the R9? And if you want to stay up to date with all the news scaring the market, subscribe, because the best is yet to come.